Next is the concept of monitoring and logging. Feedback is of two types. Number one is the feedback that the users give to you, कि भाई ये feature चल रहा है, ये feature अच्छा है, ये feature बेकार है. Users raise a lot of support tickets. The other aspect is how your application is performing. So when an application like Amazon that is used by millions of users, therein you track what is the exact statistical background of any application that is that is running. So how much memory is it consuming for every time a user does a transaction, for every time a user adds something to a cart? How exactly is it affecting the servers कि वो database को कितना भर रहा है, या फिर load के time how much is your API how sturdy is your API? Does it start failing? How sturdy is your database? Does it start giving incorrect data? कि अगर मैंने कुछ add to product किया and because of high load वो किसी और के कार्ट में जाके add हो गया तो कांड हो जाना है. So all of this is done using monitoring. So these two screenshots that you see right now, these are Prometheus and Grafana. On the left is Prometheus and on the right is Grafana. So these show metrics about how an application is performing. So these metrics are in the terms of number of API hits. So every time a user tried to go to payment, how many times did it work? How many times did it fail? Every time the user went to, make an operation which would write to a database, how many times did it work? How many times did it fail? All of these metrics are observed and tracked so that if something is not working up to the mark, the developers know and they can rectify it. So that was about monitoring. And then it is logging. Logging means that how your application is progressing, what are all the functions that your application is calling, where is the state of the code right now, that is logged. So if you write JavaScript or Java applications, you would have this habit of using loggers. For Java it is logger.info or logger.warn or logger.error, and then you mention whatever the error is. The advantage of this log is when your application breaks into production, it is not breaking on your machine. It is breaking on a user's machine. Now you cannot go to the user and tell them कि हाँ भाई फिर से करके दिखाओ तो मुझे समझ आए कि कहाँ फट रहा है. You actually have to go through the logs to understand it where exactly did the application break. So that is when the advantage comes of logging. So if you are starting a function, then you write that this XYZ function is beginning to execute. So when that function actually begins to execute for a user, that thing is logged. And if it breaks, then you can quickly look at the logs and understand कि जैसे ही XYZ function के अंदर गया, things started to go wrong. So that means that you know that the bug is with XYZ function. So this sort of logging is of extremely high advantage when it comes to production applications. How do we check these logs? Where are these logs checked? So this is done using tools like Splunk and Scribe. So this is a screenshot of a tool that is known as Splunk. So as you can see here on the bottom, marked in red, are the sort of logs that trace through the flow of the application.